Hi everyone. I have been thinking long and hard, during this process of moving and leaving the city of New York, and the different voices that have cropped up not only within myself but from other people. I've come to the conclusion that there are three choices one can make at this present time. The first is to do nothing, and to do nothing is really good if you're a sheeple, because then, like most sheep going to slaughter, you won't know that the end is coming until they cut your throat. And that's exactly um, what's going on right now. People feel that no matter how bad it gets, we if we ignore it or believe the green shoots or whatever you want, or just continue to live our lifestyle, though we're reaching our bitter end on so many fronts, that if we don't think about it or have a, what's the word I'm looking for, a positive, feeling on what's going on, like The Secret. If then it's so much easier for us to deal with it because we're not dealing with it, and that is a choice. Whether you believe it or not, it's a choice. Doing nothing is a choice, and that end will, bring you to um, an an end that you have no control over, that you've relinquished to whomever you're relinquishing it to, the government, the pharmaceutical companies, whatever. Take your pick. The second choice is what I referred to as engagement. It's akin to violence. Engaging in this world to this reality, to change. You know, everybody wants change, um, and most times that change comes through violence. And that change of violence is also exactly what the people in charge want, because then the sheep will be frightened and run toward them, and you will be separated and killed immediately. And there'll be a sense of relief from the sheep that, you know, that the evil, insurgents um, have been killed off, and we're now safe in the arms of our, uh, as they say in Yiddish, sheket, our slaughterer, the guy who's going to cut our throats, which is a choice. And I think it's not a smart choice for me, but it's a choice, just like the first choice. Then there's the third choice. And the third choice is what Bill Hicks would refer to as getting off the ride, as what I refer to as, walking away from the game. And that involves you changing your viewpoint and just getting up, picking up your marbles, and walking off the field. That is the most dangerous thing, because what happens when you do that, when you commit to that, you create a fissure, a gap for people to see that there's an alternative, a valid alternative. What does that third choice look like? Well, Bill Hicks, who does it much better than I do, points out two very important things. That A, this is just a ride. It's got thrills and chills and bends and turns and excitement, but it's still a ride. And when people are told about that it's a ride, those people will usually kill them. People, uh, you know, like Gandhi. I use this example because it's probably one of the most full out examples, modern examples, and I use that in quotes, in the last 100 years, of someone who said, no, um, I'm not playing your game. I don't recognize your courts. I don't recognize your clothing, your food, your money. I don't recognize any of it. I'm walking away from it. And if you try to arrest me, fine. If you try to drag me through courts, fine. I don't recognize your courts, and I don't recognize who you are as an authority. Because really, to quote John Locke, society is just an agreement between two parties, whoever those parties are. You and me and the government, me and the IRS, me and the whatever, me and the military. And how we enforce people once they've passively agreed to being part of this social contract is we scare them. First, we tantalize them by giving them what they need, food, shelter, whatever, so they don't have to do it themselves. And then when they say, I don't want to play this game anymore, then we threaten them with their lives. And in most cases, people say, well, it's better than being killed, right? I'd rather live in a shitty place and eat food that's not healthy for me and, pay taxes to someone and put my sweat ex towards something that I don't agree with or I'm not part of or don't get a direct benefit from. That's a difficult move. Ultimately, you have to make a choice, and there are only three that I know of. Maybe there's more, but these are the three that seem to be the most prevalent and most reasonable ones in my mind. Unfortunately, guys like the Waco, Texas situation, Randy Weaver, and regardless of what you think of their political or theological or racial views, they just wanted to be left the hell alone. They didn't want to be part of the system. They walked away, and they were attacked. But what happened to those people was it forced society to see that there was an alternative view. And that's one of the things that woke me up. Unfortunately, David Koresh and his ilk were killed en masse, and Randy Weaver lost his entire family and was badly wounded himself. But he embraced the third choice. And that's where I'm at right now. I always tell people waking up in this society is like being a football player on a baseball field. You can't play by those rules anymore. So you have two choices. Find a football field or learn to play baseball. Ultimately, whatever answer is your answer that has to be made. And ultimately, you have to embrace it to the point of your own sacrificing your own life. Even if it doesn't happen, God hopes, I hope, that never happens. But whatever choice you make, you'll have no choice but to embrace it. So, I leave you with those thoughts. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm between 2 and 3. And I'm leaning towards 3. I'm going towards 3. What's your choice? Where are you going to be? If you're awake, you really now have 2 choices. So, I leave you with those thoughts. Hopefully it'll start a conversation, because I don't have all the answers. God knows. And neither do you. So maybe between the two of us, we'll find the answer. All right, folks. Peace.